All right, assuming as I was talking to Deathlord, I think we've switched over. Um, whatever. We're live again. So it turns out, I think as I mentioned before, because this league wants all times in UTC, I think when someone was given Eastern Standard time, they converted it incorrectly and put it into the league spreadsheet, um, which is why we all thought the game was going to start at what was going to be 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, and it actually starts at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. So we're back, and if anybody was here earlier, if you're not, nothing I said means anything to you, and welcome new people. I am Dane, Jarl Dane, Mech the Dane, 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 Dane. And this is Assail, the Angry,
Greetings.
and we're gonna be your casters for the night. I've got one of the teams already here, and our match should start technically in a minute. Let's see if I can find the other team. We had a lot of trouble earlier because again we thought that the match would start at 8:30. When it turns out both teams had agreed 9:30 and just given the wrong and the administrator had just converted the time wrong. During that time, though, I was struggling to connect with the CDU Bandit team, and I still haven't really strongly connected with them yet. So let's try to get them in here so we can actually have a game. All right, I'm going to message them again for the trillionth time. All right, so I've messaged them again. We're just waiting on CDU. When they get in here, we will start. Hopefully that happens. I swear if we sit around for another 20 minutes, I've made it clear that if they don't come in 5 minutes, as per the rules, they will forfeit the first match. So let's see if they care at all. Anyways, that's all fun and dandy. So yeah, I'm Mechdane. I don't know how long whoever's watching the stream has been a part of the MechWarrior Online community. If you've been around for a while, um, you will have probably heard of me. If you haven't, then you might use some tools that I'm affiliated with, like the Jarl's List or Grim Mechs. So I lead the Eisengrim, but we pretty much kind of retired from competitive play before the pandemic a few years ago. Feels like 3 now, so you probably haven't seen me for a while. And then Assail played with me. He was another competitive player for the Eisengrim, but he's also played on a few other teams. I never played on any other team for obvious reasons. And
The one, the only, right?
yeah, Assail played for D5, Alpha Wolves, Eisengrim. Did I miss any there?
Yeah, I've played with some other teams. I played the CSPS for a little bit. They're a really good group of guys. That's really it, though. I kind of like subbed in on a few other teams, but nothing really particularly serious.
So yeah, we've had a lot of experience in the competitive world, although it is a competitive world that has changed a lot, in our absence. So like the maps have changed, some of them quite a bit, some of them in small ways since we last played competitively. Um, I'm still getting
Not just
used.
that, but I mean, talk about the cauldron and all the quirk
Oh yeah.
passes and changes to the game. Like, they've done a really good job. I feel there's definitely a few mechs that have become very strong, but that always happens when you're balancing, right? So.
All right. Yeah. Sorry, I was just reading, trying to get these guys. All right, yeah, all right. They've came. They are here. They actually exist. Again, if anybody was not here earlier, this is an exciting moment. That there is an enemy, I get combatant, and we're not just staring at one team by itself. But yeah, I mean, it'll be different. We haven't seen a lot of what's new. I like.
I'm really interested to see the new teams play and see what kind of things kind of float to the top and what if any new strategies are out there, or you know what I mean, kind of stuff like that. So
So my understanding, and I don't know how they did the seeds, is that the Hunters of the Fjordlands are seed. I guess I'll switch my views. Uh, the Hunters of the Fjordlands are the lower seed, so that means they are Team 2 for the first 3 matches, and then the last 2 matches they will be Team 1. I don't know how they did the seeds though, and I'll never know. All right, so the game's supposed to start in a minute. Looks like both teams are here. I'll try not to do a radio cast.
yeah, that's number one. As long as we can keep everybody entertained slightly, that's first and foremost, right? Keep the mechs blowing up, keep everybody happy.
And then let's double check this. So the first match is River City. I just want to make sure I have the right River City. Yeah, okay. And
Okay, they are locked. Team one is locked. Just waiting on team two.
all right, we see 4 in Alpha, 2 in Bravo, 2 in Charlie. I don't know what that means. uh, I guess, yeah, 3 in Bravo. So we can maybe know what that means. We could pull up a map. Look at us. Let's be systemated. So with Team 1 is stacked Alpha, Team 2 is stacked Bravo.
Yeah, Bravo, Charlie.
Just give you an idea of how it's going to look in the game. And we are going to launch. Both teams are ready. What an exciting day for their families out there.
490 tons versus 465. Interesting. I wonder if Fjordlings are looking to brawl. Get that high speed momentum going early.
All right, just had to make a few switches there to make sure we don't do a radio cast. We'll know very shortly who's brawling and who's shooting and who's rolling around in the dust. River City, that map hasn't really changed. We talked about how maps have changed. This is one that hasn't. It's pretty classic fight over a river. Who doesn't want to do that, you know? All right. So, what do you think on this map, Assail? What points would you go for? You know, I feel like Theta's always going to be a tricky one.
Yeah, that's usually the most contested area.
So exposed, yeah. Flying in on their fancy jets. I think. I hope. Do do do. All right, there we go. Yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen here. I haven't played in so long. I know, what people like to set up at that gamma high area, look down left and right. Uh, Lots of brawl, especially when I feel like less sophisticated strategies might end up around the big pillar at Theta. Um, Back in the old days, I remember there was a time when ERs were really strong, and this wouldn't work anymore, especially on Conquest. But I'd seen teams go like deep in the water and try to just get that one kill, and then just sit there and punish anybody that tried to push on them. So we have a disconnect, so we're currently holding.
Command coming in. Capture and hold the resource points. Stop any hostiles that get in your way.
Yeah, Fjordling looks like they want to brawl. Couple of onions, gargoyle, death strike. Yeah, definitely Arctic wolf, dervish. Haven't seen a whole lot of them. CDU is moving into the city, but they haven't called. Didn't they call a hold?
They're going at 420. So,
Oh, my bad.
but if he did move, that's a problem.
No, no, he didn't. Sorry, I must have missed the
Enemy
text.
forces have Sigma.
All right, let's. Whew, gotta get used to these controls. All right, let's get out of here.
Take it, Epsilon.
CDU's definitely grabbing Theta early, not taking any contention here at all, which is weird. Do you think Fjordlings would have some sort of downrange shooting here?
So CDU has also taken Gamma. They've taken that top area, and it looks like the bulk of the Fjordlings are also taking the high ground up by Epsilon. So it seems like two teams want to look at each other from up here. I personally hate.
City versus Spaceport. Yeah, this is a classic fight.
Looks like the Fjordlings are going in for the kill. They're just pushing.
We have Gamma.
They've got a light just trailing behind. That light's not going to be very useful being behind their main body like that. You can see that CDU's got a light covering Theta. I don't know if
He's
that.
not pulling back to the main body yet. Oh, here he goes. He's starting to get back in the main body. He might be looking to get some butts here. He might have the opportunity.
Getting this gargoyle here on the front of this push.
The Arctic Cheetah and the Commando are engaging on one another.
Yeah, got the kill there. Nice kill.
Oh wow, beautiful kill.
I think they're rolling here.
Player unknown is lagged. Player unknown down.
Get back inside one of these.
Damage numbers definitely in favor of the Hunters.
Yeah, they've closed in here and they're getting those kills. I mean, actually, that was really good. I gotta get out of this view mode. I think this is pretty much. Sorry, everybody. I was getting used to my controls there for a second. But yeah, so the Fjordlings just charged right into them. And you can just see CDU wanted to not do a brawl fight. I mean, they had some brawly mechs, but they clearly were set up not for it, and they backed away from the push. They didn't punish.
Yeah, their Overwatch definitely didn't do enough work on the way in.
They didn't punish, yeah, the Fjordlings. So the Fjordlings pretty much got there fresh. They also didn't really.
That's not true. That gargoyle went down pretty quickly. And
Player
they
unknown.
did, yeah, they did manage to damage some other mechs pretty well.
I think they also had their light with them, which made it an 8-on-8, and CDU had their light doing, or at least one of their lights, because they have two. Had one of them covering a caps. So, you know, then that's kind of a mindset thing. Like, what are you gonna do? Are you here for caps? Like, yes, but at that time, you know, if the entire team is charging you, it's only a minute into the game. Like you got to realize that you're not going to win on caps at that point if you lose the main battle.
And that commando did have backs. If he would have been a little more patient, there would have been definitely a much larger opening for her to do some work. They might have been solely relying on him to cap, though. That might have been his job for them this match. So he might have just been following orders. Happens to the best of us.
Yeah. Sorry I didn't get into those mechs. I should have gotten into those mechs to see what they were all bringing. But
I mean, my game looks like it's 240p, but you know, otherwise I'd say, hey, I'll get in there.
Wow, that's fine. No, that was actually a great brawl push by the Hunters of the Fjord Lands.
Don't forget to grab the match stats.
And then let's just look at these stats real quick. So you can see a decent amount of damage coming from CDU, except for that Marauder 72. That hurts. Orion 146. You can see the Fjordlings Orion actually did huge work.
Yeah, 571. It's a huge game. 6 kills.
You can actually see that Arctic Wolf was doing decent as well with yeah, 6 kills. That's a lot. So, you know, they had that brawl team. They ran in there. They pushed. Wasn't a great Overwatch position. You can see that Hunchback 2C, you know, great Overwatch mech, but they closed so quick, not able to do a lot there. Ryan just got punched in the dick, probably. I don't know. Didn't, you know.
That's kind of what happens to those fucking things.
So, I mean, this is what it is, but you know, that's what happens. If you're not going to embrace the brawl and you see it coming, you need to make some moves to avoid it. So, let me just input that real quick and we'll throw up this map and maybe I can be a little bit more articulate. All right, switching over to our map overlay. Assail and I, we casted a few things like 1,000 years ago, so we're sorry if we're super.
We do enjoy casting. We're just definitely more than a little rusty at both casting and Mech Warriors, so we're kind of learning with everybody.
All right. Sorry. They're all getting angry right now about the time mix-up earlier. Anyways, let's look at this map. I'll try to ignore what's going on there. That was pretty simple. I think you've got I've never used this map tool before. Ooh, look at that. That's kind of cool. I'd rather draw though. Here we go. Yeah. So you have the Fjordlings. Just do that classic push right into the right into the main body of CDU. Have fun. You can see this, right?
Yeah.
All right. Great.
Anyway.
I mean, so, you know, what do you do? So the question is, if you get brawled, you're set up, you know, in this position here, you know, how do you receive that brawl push? Assuming you have range.
Yeah, you pull back into starport. That's what I'd do.
Yeah.
Create as much distance, do as much damage as you can on the way in, and hopefully take them out.
Right. You got a wide and you back up. You're exactly right. So I wish I didn't write CDU now. Delete that. There we go. So to receive that, you're right. You back up here. You back up here. You basically force them to have to more travel time. You focus down mechs as they do it, and then if you widen out, probably have guys down here, right? So now they gotta, what are they gonna do if they're gonna stick together in a ball? They now have to push aside, right? Or they can individually split up, but that's not that kind of hurts your brawl potential at that point because to make the brawl work, you need to be taking down mechs, bup. And if you've split up and you're all over the place, it's much less able to do that. I mean, that's not focus fire. And as long as they have some targets, they can still focus fire in, even if they're getting hit by a mech on the side. So it's not uh, that doesn't work.
All right, they're ready for us. Let's go.
All right.
We got to change the map mode and the map.
So we are going to be domination on Hibernal Rift. So let's do that real quick. Domination. All right. I think we're good.
So the same thing as last time. We had for Fjordlings just 20 tons under. Probably looking to maybe brawl it up again. They had a lot of success their first round, so why wouldn't they make it happen again?
No, it's a good point. Let's see. Team 1's locked. Team 2 is locked. I think we're good to go. I mean, yeah, it's been
I
successful.
feel like Hibernal's going to lend itself a little more to some long range play. So we might see a little bit more damage and strategy come out of CDU this map. I'm looking forward to it.
We will see what happens. Sorry, they were upset about the timing thing earlier. Like, spreadsheet said what time it was. Let's just go off the official spreadsheet. Well, I think last week I saw the Fjordlings in Canyonland do a brawl push, and Hibernal Rift, in a lot of ways, is kind of a Canyonland-like map. Or not Canyonland, Canyon Network-like map. So I could see them doing that. If I was going to push in this kind of map, I would be a little bit wary of Orion without jump jets. I would take, and I'd also try to take kind of quicker mechs too. I feel like this is a map where if you do have range, it's a lot easier to get sights on mechs, get mechs stuck lumbering down canyons. A little bit more
And
risky.
CDU, I feel like, is going to definitely have to pay attention to Iron Wolfpack. That he did some serious damage last time, so.
All right, so
they allow him to do work again. This could be a quick match.
Fjordlings, Executioner, Catapult A1, Shadowhawk, Catapult A1. Those A1s, I'm pretty sure those are SRM boats, aren't they? Let's double check. Let's see if I can find them. Oh yeah, that's an SRM boat. So they're definitely going brawl again. They brought the catapults
The
because
CDU is going very heavy long range. 2 Annihilators, Grasshopper. I'm seeing a lot of peeps.
Yep, so CDU is setting up to receive a push. What they got to do here is they got to punish the Fjordlands people. They are definitely a brawl team. So when they turn around that corner, they need to be punished for covering the distance between those two teams right there, or else CDU is going to be in trouble again.
CDU is really hanging back. So is Fjordlings, though. Unfortunately, they don't got the same guts and go as they did last time.
Now, if see, here we go. If I was CDU, I'd actually get back even further. I'd get on the other side of that canyon behind them.
Yeah, if I knew they were coming up right now, I'd be looking to push back.
Also, CDU is going to want everybody to present to hit the first
Blacktrack
mech.
is so far forward, he's going to get caught out for sure.
So yeah, here's the push. It's coming in hard. That Shadowhawk kind of fell down there in the back, but it's all down to it here. Oh, sorry about that.
Iron Wolf Pack charging in, trying to save player unknown. Unfortunately, he went down a little bit early. But they paid for it with a Marauder and an Annihilator.
Yep, now that the Fjordlings are on top of them, again, without having to take hardly any damage, it just, the match is going to swing heavily in the favor of the Brawl team. Those catapults, they do huge alphas. They're not very hot. Those are amazing mechs if you can get them close like that. They just open up those...
And look at the clan machine guns coming out to just finish off everybody.
Oh, I hate those machine guns so much. So yeah, this is going to be another Brawl push.
You know, honestly, I thought CDU would have handled that much better.
Well, you know, it's hard. It's hard. I think they
the
were...
push was just very telegraphed.
Yeah, they were too close. They were set up on this ridge here to hit people coming around this corner down here. I mean, it's just, you know, the distance there isn't much. You would rather want to have, like, be over at this big rock over here or something. That gives you much better angles and more distance. Force them to come across that canyon there. So, I mean, what we're going to see here is just not big numbers from CDU, just because they didn't have time. They didn't have time to use, you know, their mechs. Those Annihilators, you know.
I mean, those Annihilators did a fair amount of damage in the time they were on the field, but, I mean, unless you're taking components off every time, like, you know, they're just... They take a long time to get into position, and if you know the other team's brawling, you don't want to bring mechs that are going to take... Like, 2 Blood Asps would have been far superior to 2 Annihilators, in my opinion. Like...
You can see those catapults both did 500 damage, and between the two of them, they got 5 kills. So that's most of the team.
And even player unknown still managing to break over 100, and he was only up for, you know, like 20 seconds of that fight.
Yeah, and that does out damage, you know, 2 members on their team. And yeah, in my experience of pushing in the front of brawls, you know, that first mech, like, they can sometimes just do 0 damage, or, you know, get
totally.
1 shot off before they just fall apart. And, you know, that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you made them fight for
Right.
every, you know, if the mechs are overheating, you know, you're doing work, right? But
Yeah, that's the point, because when they're on top of each other, you know, it's okay if you're a mech down if you have the brawl mechs on top of mechs who don't have that. So, I mean, I'll throw this up here. There's really not much to see. I mean, I feel like we've already pretty heavily analyzed it. But we can take a gander. But yeah, it was CDU could have definitely won that, or at least made it closer. They just didn't quite set up. Let's see. Man, I've never even played on Hibernal Rift in competitive. This map didn't exist when I played comp.
no, me neither. But I mean, they definitely took a very telegraphed route, and they were definitely spotted out early. Like, there was definitely time to get some damage down. They should have just presented, unless they, like, if they weren't gonna run, they should have presented, you know.
Right.
Because it's not like you can't do work with PPCs and ER large. Like, you know, you're just gonna do obviously less. But I would look at bringing some Daka mechs next match for these guys for sure.
So yeah, I mean, really, what you got to do against Brawl in this is you have to use the canyons, and then you got to use the outer spaces, and you got to rotate. That's the other thing. If you're range, you've got to rotate away from the Brawl push. So if they're coming up a canyon, you don't want to set up to receive the push if you can't help it. And even if you can, you want to spread out to receive it. If let's imagine if they had people, up on these hills, if they had people up here, like, and you don't need all of your team. You can have like one, like a Hunchback 2C or something around a corner here. You can have, another mech over here. These are great areas to use. The one thing that you have to keep in mind is domination control. And I'm afraid, this is just my inexperience. I don't exactly know the areas for that. Like maybe the low areas here behind cover. If you can force the enemy team to have to push, down to get at you. Um, but really, it's a control the backside, control the high areas, and then just roll away from the push. If you can get them running and not reaching anything, if you can string them out like that, like, and I mean, this is Sale. We've been in positions where we're trying to get somewhere and we just can't get there, and we're taking damage. Like mentally, you know, that takes a toll. Not to mention physically, like, running around trying to get there. And then the other thing is if they spread out enough and the enemy team jumps on them somewhere, if they've got guys here and here, enemy team jumps on you here, right? I mean, it's even if they swarm and kill you there, that whole time the other side should be able to get shots on you. So they should be punishing you. And then, once you kill the one or two mechs there, then you have to run again and run. It's just that's how you kind of pull that off against that Brawl team.
Yeah, that constant potato rotato, right? Like let them take one or two mechs, but in that time you've lagged three or four, and you're pushing back the whole time. And you're using your range and speed to your advantage.
Right. So that's just a mobility, flexibility thing to work on. But they can, any you just gotta rotate together, and I think teams can get there. They can get to a place where that they can pull that off. If I was looking at this, and I know, especially after last week, I know the team we're playing is
Team
gonna
one's locked.
brawl. I'm thinking, how am I gonna counter that brawl? All right, let's get back in
Yeah,
there.
so you either bring brawl yourself, or you got to play that range game, or you got to play that mid range slash long range game.
And you can, I mean, the brawl has weaknesses. There's ways to punish it.
I feel like heavy clan Daka right now would just absolutely destroy Fjordlings.
Let me switch the map before I ruin everybody's day.
Roger that.
What are we
Did we
at?
go back to Conquest for this one?
Yep,
Because it
Conquest
goes.
Frozen City Night, yeah. And then I think after this we're gonna switch sides too.
Right, third match. Yeah, or would be the fourth match.
Dane,
Yep.
quick reminder to toggle the player name tags in observer mode.
Yep. Good call. Yeah, just gotta hit backspace. All right, Frozen City Night. Okay, I know this map. Classic Frozen City Night.
Yeah, if we know one map tonight, it's this map.
I remember the tournaments we fought on this map. So, actually, brawling on this map, there's a few options off the top of my head. Going over the Team 2 is locked. I think we'll double checking. Yeah, we'll launch this. Going over the hill is kind of the one that, first comes to mind.
Yeah, going over that sniper's nest on the right.
Now, I think This is a map, though, that if you have a team that sets up deep and wide in those buildings, they can really punish a team that pushes, especially if they push right over that hill. Like, they can just eat you for breakfast. If you go tunnel, like tunnel sounds fun, but tunnel's like a flank. Like if you have your whole team go through tunnel, that should give the rest of the team enough time to maneuver around a flanking edge and just,
Yeah,
you know,
you're absolutely gonna have a bad time.
yeah, you're gonna come out that hole and just want to climb back in the womb of that tunnel.
Player unknown with the Taco Bell on the back of his mech. You gotta respect that. Man who knows how to just say, "Hey, I get diarrhea constantly."
Coming in. Capture and hold the resource point.
All right, what do we got here? Two Atlas, two Atlases. All right, Orions. So, surprise, surprise, Hunters of the Fjordlands are going to go for another brawl push.
Yeah, if you're good at NSR, you just NSR every match. Why not, right? Like, that's what life's all about.
So really, what's going to determine this match is how the CDU sets up.
Oh, it's almost as if CDU has heard me, and they are taking Clan Taka.
Yep, black asps.
Blood
Well,
ass.
one blood
Fucking
asp.
racist.
All right, well, you know.
You're gonna get canceled, bro. You can't say that, dude. It's 2022.
So it looks like, yeah, this is Fjordlings are set up to push right over this hill. They've got their two lights coming through the tunnel. Investigate what's going on. Getting eyes on that team. We've got two caps right now as well for CDU. So I mean,
The CDU is definitely holding their positions in the back, but again, they're too static. They're not looking to take a flank or take a bit of a
they're bunched up. They could actually take this high area above them just because they know that the Fjordland people aren't going to be able to return fire. So they could set up in the open up there. But instead, we're going to see the Fjordlings push in. They're going to see if they can catch this Black Liner and Incubus off. So really, Fjordlings should be able to push through these buildings without taking too much damage. The Hunters of the Fjordlands now have their lights in the back. This is a chance to dunk. If they can kill those lights immediately, they can get up, because those lights are right now unsupported, while the Fjordlands push on them. So one of those mechs is lagged, so that's one up. The Orions are right about to jump on top of them, though. These buildings are going to be...
Piranha does look like he's going to be able to make his way out of here. And it looks like the Fjordlings are on top of CDU now.
So they're focus firing.
They're focusing down that blood ass.
Yeah, they lost their blood asp. They lost both lights for Fjordland, so it's 5 on 7. It just depends on focus fire now. They need to focus fire. Whoever does it best can pull this off. The Atlases are going to be rough to kill. It's 4 now. There's only 4 people left on the field, including both Atlases for the Fjordlands. That crab was focused early, still fighting. That's great for that crab, 38%. I mean, every second that crab is up is an opportunity break fire. All right, they killed one of the Atlases.
I think CDU is gonna take it, honestly.
It's one healthy no, both Atlases are gone. You're right. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
No, it's 2 on 1. Let's get in there. Let me get in the cockpit.
We've already taken a quarter of the resources.
Ah.
1-on-1, we got a Stalker 7D versus Stormcrow. He's going for legs. Oh
I think
boy!
he's gonna kill that Stormcrow. That Stormcrow should bail before. Well, not now.
Calm down to the 1v1. That was a close game, and that was very nice.
Good job. I'm glad. You know what? Excited to see SDU. I'm dying.
CDU every time. 717 in the Stalker 7D, absolutely doing work.
That he was. That Stalker was doing Thor's work right there. Just astonishing. But that Stalker is really powerful.
I felt like Fjordlings were doing so good, but they kind of choked once they got over the hill.
Well, you'll see here that Player Unknown, who was the Orion that was first focused, actually did about 100 more damage than the other Orion. who was focused after. So,
They must not have had lines where they wanted to have lines.
and then the two lights that went in early only got sub 100 damage, although the Incubus got, or not, sub 200, and the Incubus got sub 200 as well. But the Javelin did decent work for their lights. I don't know, it's a tight game. Both of those Atlases did pretty well.
We need to switch sides now.
Yep. Listen, if everything else goes wrong, at least we can not do a radio cast and drop a match when we shouldn't. If we can do that.
And
Yep.
remember, since they're switching sides, you need to switch the scoreboard spreadsheet to keep the right names over the roster. If you give me right access, nah, it's telling me I have to submit an edit request. Yep, got it.
Thank you. All right, sorry I had to figure that out, everybody. Haven't done this before, at least not this tournament league. Whew. All right, let's look at the map, although, not a lot to see there, really. We saw everything that was going to happen. Are you happy, Assail?
I'm happy. It's been some very interesting games tonight. Like, I like seeing the brawl rushes. You know what I mean? Like, whenever there's a good brawl rush, it always warms my heart. But I'm glad that CDU finally, kind of came to grips with, okay, these guys are doing short range. We're going to try and maximize our output. And they did. They did a great job. I mean, it was obviously a very close match at the end there, but I felt like it was a lot better on approach. Like they did a lot more damage than they did the last few times.
All right, so next up is Emerald Vale on Domination. I guess I'll just move them. I don't know, nobody left, so I'll just do it.
Yeah, just move.
Sorry, I'm just moving players. All right, there we go. And Emerald Vale, and then we can get back to talking. So how would you have handled it, though? Would you have set up in the same place as SDU?
I
CDU?
think as long as that's the highest, as long as you have the best angles and the highest angles, then yeah, that's probably where you want to be. Emerald Vale,
Yeah,
not Terra.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean that's I don't know. I feel like I've never received a push from there though. That
It makes sense to a degree, but like all the buildings in between them should have lended more cover, I guess.
so all right. I'm gonna draw this now. Yeah, we can see that. So they push over there and they have their lights come in here to tickle. I mean their lights could have come in through there too. I feel like in the olden days though we would have done something more like, I think there's high terrain up in the back here and then here. I don't know. What do you think of that? That's
That's where
probably
that's where Val would have been telling us to set up for sure, but we would have been further ahead than that. We always are.
I mean, because I've really they were able to close with them quite well. Unfortunately, without taking any damage. The route they took. Because the main team pushed and they pushed up these buildings for the Fjordlings. I think what hurt them a little bit, because I don't think CDU had great sight lines on those buildings. I think they were obstructed. And I think when the Fjordlings came in the back, their lights came too early.
Yeah.
and they were able to pretty much get a kill and a half without suffering, basically making it 6-on-8 before the main battle had even begun.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think that hurt them, the Fjordlings, a lot.
Yeah, throwing away that light early cost them dearly.
Like I think just a deeper spread. And it's been so long, but I feel like you want to set up so that you hit them here when they push over that hill and they're exposed, and then you suck away from that. You force your firing line further back. So as they push in, that's the wrong color. So as they push in, they're forced to just keep going, and then they have to decide. They have to pick a side, and you're just eating at them the whole time.
And that's what you always want them to do, right? You want them to always have to choose the furthest away side to begin their approach. So it just gives you that much more time to reposition and or shoot while moving, right?
Right. Yeah. And if you draw a component of their team so far back that they actually have to fall into there or fall down into here, while the rest of your team is still up somewhere, shooting at the backs. I mean, you can really string out a team if you use your space and your sight lines. We'd have to look at it like, I'm just drawing lines, and sand pretty much. But we'd have to walk through the map, figure out where everyone has sight lines, and then put people there.
All right, these guys are locked up. Let's roll.
All right, lobby view.
So the tonnage is a little more close now. So it'd be interesting to see if they bring down some heavier mechs or what they change this time. I hope the Fjordlings adjust a little bit.
Are you worried they're a one? I mean, you know what? If they're a one-trick pony, if they execute that trick well enough, more respect to them. If I was creating strats to counter them, it makes my job very easy.
Yeah.
That's the one thing. But this is the Division E in this tournament, so maybe that's a point.
Really, this is Division E because it's actually pretty coordinated. You know what I mean, for them being such a low division.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's great stuff.
Oh, this is that new map, eh? I don't know it at all. If I'm being honest.
I feel like in quick play, I see people get on the ridges high to the north and south part of the map and then poke at you forever.
Okay.
And I hate it. I hate it in quick play.
Capture the target area and engage any
But
hostiles.
let's get some information up so we can see what's going on. Hundreds of Fjordlands. What do we got for them? Stalker 7D. That's the mech that did a lot of good work. Both teams have 7D. 7D is a great mech. Gargoyle, Orion, Stormcrow. So Brawl again from the Fjord Landings.
I noticed that the 7D they brought small lasers on it. Did they not last time?
I didn't notice. I can find their team. Where are you? Oh, I see. Now I can find them. All right. Hunchback 2C, Nightjeer. So again, Kodiak. This is CDU is looking for trade, or my guess is they're going to move up to the position where their Firestarter already is, but we'll see.
Yeah, CDU looks like they're a little heavier with their DACA.
Looks like that
PPC.
that Pirate Bane is holding down the domination circle for them, and then we've got a Firestarter Terror of Death holding down the circle for Fjordlings.
Oh, you mean a Piranha?
Piranha.
Not a Pirate's Bane.
PI. Ugh. What even is anything? All right, so we're gonna see CDU set up. So yeah, they are setting up to the south of this map with their mechs.
Yeah, they're going way high up on those rocks. I wonder what their plan is. Must be some super long range stuff.
It's going to be a hard to pull off with domination though. If they set up their whole team there, you can see the circle's already counting down right now for the Fjordlings.
So if they can catch that Piranha out, they essentially forfeit the map really.
So I guess the way they've set it up is that they want to force the Fjordlings to push into the open to kill that piranha. And then they support the piranha from up here.
With that onion taking some early damage here. Even that Mistlink's getting caught a couple times here.
So this is kind of a cat and mouse with that piranha. If they can sacrifice a little bit and kill that piranha, then Fjordlings
Oh,
are
that
just
piranha just had no idea what he was doing.
no.
He got caught out so hard there.
Right.
Yikes.
So they're pushing on that piranha. So now is when CDU should be absolutely demolishing them. They've pushed them out into the open. I think they're having trouble.
CDU is moving to go against them, but that means they're going to give up the circle in the meantime if their piranha hangs back.
So yeah, looks like they decided rather than mess around with that piranha, just to push. Now this is not a great situation for the Fjordlings right now. They're pretty stretched out. They're getting shot at. You can see that piranha's doing work, shooting those mechs in the back.
Yeah, he's absolutely getting butts.
It really, but now that piranha is no longer getting butts. So we're gonna move over to the main fight. That piranha should lose that fight, but we'll see. So unfortunately, we're just not seeing CDU get a lot of damage down, especially with that big rock. I would have probably backed up on it. They're gonna swarm that Orion right there. And yeah, they're just gonna roll over these two mechs right here. Looks like CDU had a bunch of mechs who had already jumped down to help this fight down here. I think they decided to put pressure.
I think CDU's going to throw super hard here because they're deciding to focus on lights when the main body's moving on them.
Yeah, they're now stuck between that light and those mechs. So this is rough. Fjordlings should now just pick a mech on the flank, like the one they did right there, the Nightjar, and then they should just collapse. The CDU line should collapse.
That piranha just got a solo kill by himself.
You know, that piranha did a lot of work.
Oh, but Woodrick absolutely shut that shit down. Good for him. Okay, nice. Wow. So they definitely got punished for not focusing on the main body there.
Yeah.
It was definitely a lesson to be learned.
I was watching the two mechs that stayed up to fight them. I kind of missed. I was wondering where the rest of the team was. They just dropped down to fight that light.
And they had the superior. Like, I thought they were going to goad them all the way down that goat trail and just destroy them.
Right.
I mean, at least that's what I think I would have done. I would have wanted to pull back to that goat trail and make them keep having to go over the hill towards us.
Yeah, I'll throw that up on the map real quick. That's what yeah, I agree. It was hard to watch them just get overran like that when their team split. I felt bad. All right. Oh, thank you. So what happened here is this rock down here. This rock I'm pointing at. Two of CDU's mechs got caught up on it. There was the Yenlo Wang and then I think an Orion were down here. But pretty much the Fjordlings were able to push up, use that rock for cover, and get up to here without being punished too much for that push up the trail. But even if the CDU had stayed up there and set up maybe over here, I think like coming around this rock, they could have really punished whoever the first and second mech were. But unfortunately, by playing up to this rock with those two mechs, it allowed the Fjordlings to just jump on top of them right there. And then when those other mechs jumped down, it just took that firepower off the field that could have helped with this fight. It pretty much sacrificed those two mechs to go chase down those lights down there, and it really just kind of fell apart for them there. All right, I gotta switch the map. Do you have any other thoughts on that assail?
Nothing that I haven't really said before. I think had they decided to just keep falling back and focus on the main body, I think Fjordlings would have had a much grimmer time there. But you got to give it to the Fjordlings. When they push, they push. So
All right, we're gonna be on HPG. That's a map. Oh,
Ooh,
I can't stand HPG anymore. It doesn't make
no.
like my mind can't understand it.
If you like Clan ER large, you love HPG.
So I think CDU tactically made some really good decisions. I mean it's risky. They set up here on this ridge line, and they had that piranha in this area here. And so the plan is, if like the way I would imagine it is, if something went to grab your piranha, you should be able to have a bunch of firepower. Just you should be able to pick apart their mechs and force them back. That's what I think they were going for. Um, and that's a rough one if you're the Brawl team too, because I mean I personally like pressing across this area right here. That's a lot of opportunities to get shot. I don't like that. And then pressing up here, once you're in the open, you got multiple opportunities again to get shot, and your enemy team can just keep falling back. They can
Yeah.
once you get up, you cross here. Maybe you finally make the fight happen there. I'd have to look at the map some more. I mean, maybe you could drop down. I don't know at that point. That's too speculative. But yeah, they should have hit him here. They should have punished him a little bit here, and then they should have punished him a lot here. And they were actually all out here. I mean, so I would optimize my ranges. Let's see, no one's locked. All right, good. I would optimize my ranges to also make sure that this box right here, I can hit stuff in. You don't want your piranha right here to be in trouble, and all your mechs not able to put fire to support it.
And that wasn't really the problem. The problem was they should have just left the lights alone.
Well,
Like, had they never turned to focus on the lights in the first place, I think they would have been okay, because the main body was the one choking them.
yeah, I mean, you're right. You're absolutely right. It's kind of risky. I think it's risky for I think CDU. I think they read the Fjordlings perfectly. I would be very scared to do this move that CDU did, because I would be afraid I would think the other team wouldn't push me, is the thing. I think they would
Yeah,
find ways to kill that piranha and then just stay sitting here, and then force me to have to like give up my position and figure out a way to engage with them.
yeah.
That's what I would be afraid of. But like I said, they read them perfectly, and they knew that Fjordlings just said, screw it, and just charged right at them.
Because I mean, you're only looking at like what 1,000 meters from F3 to E3 rock. So I mean, your ER large, your peeps,
Yeah, yeah.
even lerms for frig's sakes.
Oh,
You could
that's
send
not
some. You could send
sacrilege.
some unholy lerms down on those fools if you wanted to.
You'll be excommunicated for mech crimes if you did that. But yeah, no, I mean you're right. It's exactly knowing that Fjordlings were going to do that ballsy push. I think they made the right tactical calls. I think for what they did, they just didn't quite
Yeah.
execute.
Team one's locked, just waiting on team two.
But that's a rough
I've
one.
also heard that Player Unknown is actually the owner of Player Unknown Battlegrounds. He owns it, and he is actually secretly funneling millions upon millions of dollars into MWO. That's just what I've heard. All right, team two is locked. Let's go.
All right, switching over. Launching. Good luck to both teams. So I mean, I think it's obvious. CDU has the Fjordlings number, or at least they know what they're gonna do. And I feel like the last two matches we've seen them prepare for it, and I think they've made smart decisions, knowing that.
Yeah, definitely.
It I think it's really comes down to execution. I think they could easily pull this out. I mean, all right, everybody's in. Make sure all my right overlays are up. There we go.
Command coming in. Capture and hold the resource points. Stop any hostiles that get in your way.
Okay,
We have Gamma.
2 Black Knights for the Fjordlings. Those are...
And 2 dire wolves.
So I'm feeling like they are switching it up here. That feels more like a mid-range vomit to me.
Yeah, you think they're going to want to probably take the half, kind of halfway point, and then have the dire wolves kind of anchor
We have gained Epsilon.
and just let them rain hell down.
So yeah, this dire wolf is an AC2 boat.
Oh, we have a Pirate's Bane going basement. Classic.
All right, let's get up there. So AC2, yeah, medium clan range.
AC2's long range.
Theta is controlled by the enemy.
Can you check what are in those Black Knights? Actually, I was on the wrong team. I'm used to the Fjordlings being on the other side. That's for, that dire wolf was for a CDU. Okay. So we've got set up on the wall with the dire wolf up here for the Fjordlings. Other dire wolves. So both dire wolves are Overwatch. They're pressing the center with their Black Knights and their Shadowhawk.
Jimmy J already down to 87%. Yikes.
CDU've got
Taking some big
Overwatch,
damage.
Nightjeer, Direwolf. So yeah, light fight brawl here. All 4 lights are involved. It just depends on how good the Overwatch can get shots here. I think they're...
It looks like they're taking their own fights.
Resource point Theta is ours.
So those right now, those 2 Black Knights and that Shadowhawk seem mostly out of the fight. So I think their job is to hold down Theta. So they're there to control Theta, and as long as they do, it forces CDU to have to be more aggressive. So I don't actually know why Fjordling's lights are so aggressive right now.
Aggressive, yeah. Like they're aggressive for no reason.
Yeah, like that. Those are taking damage that they should, especially that Arctic Cheetah, right?
Player unknown's taking a ton of damage here.
Where is he at?
He's on the wall.
Oh, he's the dire wolf. Yeah.
Yeah, you bet.
He's losing. So that's... Well, they should. Let's see. They've only got 2 mechs or 3 mechs on the walls to CDU's 4. So CDU should be winning the wall trades.
Oh, we just dropped a Viper on him. That didn't feel good.
I gotta watch something. This is so spread out. It's hard to focus on any individual fight. So looking at the damage percentages, pretty close. If they can take out one of those mechs, if they can take out player unknown.
But you look at that, and we got Jimmy G 4-1 and the Rifleman 2C. He's absolutely ruined.
Right.
And look, those Black Knights are sneaking up on the wall behind Jimmy G. JG.
Yep, he's done. He's done. Yeah.
Down, yeah.
Oof, I wish those Black Knights were able to get up on top of them. Oh, I wish I was watching that closer. I'm sorry, everybody. Because that's a great move on the Fjordlings part. That's actually really clever. I don't know how they're able to do it.
They managed to just take the long way around and walk up the back ramp.
Did they? But that rifleman got shot in the back. Like how?
Yeah, he had no idea, but it's because they took the ramp up behind him. Absolutely, 300 IQ, 4D chess move there. That was incredible.
All right. It looks like that Shadowhawk's down, so at least it's 2-1. But I don't know how that Direwolf Ravi. I don't know how he survives with those two Black Knights on his side. Yeah, this is I think this is the critical fight here, the Black Knight and the Light fight.
Oh, Viper got lagged.
Both CDU's lights tried to support that Direwolf. I don't know. I wouldn't want to be fighting Black Knights in those lights.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
Let's check it out.
That Direwolf's coming to rain damage on some butts if he can get it here. Oh, that Ravi. Oh, that's some good butt action. But he's getting punished now by the other Direwolf. Oh, some water tart. Just saved by the absolute world.
Yeah, these two remaining trade mechs are basically being held down by their two trade mechs, Fjordlings. So yeah, this fight's pretty much, I think, concluded.
Yeah, just the Pirate's Bane and the Marauder. Wow.
Yeah, the Pirate's Bane
did they ever execute that? Wow, God, they executed that so well. Oh, that was so perfect.
Yeah, CDU had I think they had more trade mechs. They just needed to win the trade fight, and I don't think they didn't quite pull it off. They let those Black Knights get behind them. That was critical. And by that point, those Black Knights were just fresh, and they just collapsed everything. That's actually, you know, we Fjordlings were looking pretty one note most of the night, but that was
that mid range push that was definitely beast. It was very well done.
So yeah, we're just watching them finish cleaning up this fight. I mean, there's a lot of hurt Fjordling mechs on the field, but there's just a lot of Fjordling mechs on the field.
Well, that's also a good sign of being able to rotate your damage mechs in and out, right? Like,
yeah.
If you have a good damage spread like that, that means everybody's been torso twisting properly. So.
It's true.
Wow, excellent job. Excellent job.
That was, yeah. Again, I liked the way CDU set up for that. Oof, look at that Black Knight, 681, other Black Knight, 562, Direwolf UV, 762. I mean, those are just huge numbers.
And Direwolf, 776.
I mean, you have Ravi down here, like he was doing work for his people, but he was trading against the Nightgear 378. I mean, with the Nightgear 378 and the Marauder 521. So I mean, it's not. If you compare those trades to
the Rifleman would have been long range as well.
To their two Direwolves, I mean, both like that's 1400 damage from those two Direwolves.
Yeah.
You can see those lights didn't do a lot of damage. I actually think the light fighting was much stronger for CDU. They tried to save their Direwolf, and they felt more impactful, I guess, at that stage in the game. So yeah, I haven't played. I definitely haven't played on this new HPG map. I mean, it's probably not new for the people playing on it. What is it, like years ago they probably redid that, but that just shows my age, right?
Yeah. It's an old man playing an old game.
Yeah. So we had let's see. So the Black Knights, I think they just went in, they hung out here for a long time, didn't do much in there, and then they came here and went up here, where a Rifleman was seated. Is that right? Did I get the right ramp? Oh shoot.
Yeah, that looks right. I think that was the right ramp.
We got to go to their Discord. They're gonna do interviews.
Oh, okay.
Do you even have their Discord?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Uh,
Hey, Iron Wolf.
hey, how you doing?
I'm good. We so you're not the comp team leader. That's player unknown. You're the
Yeah, he told me he wanted me to do it.
he
That
wants.
he doesn't like doing interviews.
Okay.
Yeah. If you
Uh,
want to confirm with him, that's just what he said.
all right. That's so. Did he come up with all the plans for the night or the
Yes, he
team?
did. He did. Yes.
All right. Well, great. I mean, you 4-1. That's a you should be pretty happy about that. I know I would be.
Um. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely happy with the result. Obviously, that third game, we thought we had a really good strategy for, and it did work okay, but they ran a really good counter to it. Um, First off, I definitely want to give props to the other team because CDU fought really, really well. They brought their A game, obviously, and we knew it was going to be a tough game, but but in the end we were able to execute. And again, player unknown did do all the planning, and they worked to perfection. His mech selection, to positional drop calling, he has a really great instinct for the game, and that's kind of why when people were like, "Hey, we want to do comp for this season," I was like, "Okay, well, player wants to do it. I'm going to put him in charge because I know he has a lot of great instincts. He's a great leader." And I don't have enough on my. I've got too much on my plate to be able to handle all that. So much of the credit to our victory tonight does go to him, and I think that he definitely deserves that as well. Now, who remind me who the team leader is for the other for CDU, because they did a great job as well, just positional from a positional standpoint.
I believe it's Black Tack. So
Oh,
and I don't know if he's coming or not. I mean, definitely I hope he comes in here.
yeah. He did a great job too, so I don't want to discount the opponent.
Black Tack.
Um, he definitely. I'll save a little bit of what I have to say about that for when he gets here, because I definitely want him to know kind of how we feel about what they did and how they did, because he did call some very, very good games, and especially that middle game, that was such a tight fight, very, very close, and they definitely put us at a massive positional disadvantage and were able to capitalize on that. So
So while
um
we wait, I don't know if he's coming or not. I've sent a message out to him. Since we just finished watching your HPG Manifold, I wanted if we could just talk about that real quick.
Sure. Yeah,
And I just sent you a link to the map I'm using because on the delay you won't be able to see this, but now you can.
makes sense. Okay.
This is HPG Manifold. So this green squiggly line you're looking at was me previously talking about what I thought your Black Knights did. Um,
hmm
so what was your thinking in bringing those two Black Knights? And did you was this an opportunity you saw to flank, or was this an executable thing that you had pre-planned on doing?
So what players' plan was for us to bring up into Theta and then kind of skirmish out from there with their wall snipers.
Right.
Because when we fought TSLL we did a skirmish on Thursday night, we were able to get clean shots on their wall snipers and do a good job. Now that unfolded in a way that was not very advantageous for us, because we didn't have we needed to hone some things down. Now when we got into this, I and Tart, who by the way, I need to take I'll talk about Tart in a minute, but so we kind of got into this, and I was like, okay, Tart, follow me. We're gonna poke out the E4, E5, side, and we're gonna see if they have any snipers that we can kind of harass and take some components. And we didn't see anybody, which to normal people might be like, oh well, that means we don't get any shots. What are we gonna do now? To me, that's like, well, if we can't see them, then they can't see us, which means we can get behind them and they'll never know. So me, Tart, and Wicked all flanked back there. The two Black Knights got up on that rifleman, ended him immediately. He never had a chance. And then they just kind of, their lights trickled in one by one, and it was just like dominoes falling one after the other. They all just, it was too, the focus fire with the pinpoint damage is way too much from two Black Knights for any one mech to stand up against. Doesn't matter if it's a dire wolf, doesn't matter if it's a fire starter. They're just you're gonna fall and you're gonna fold. So we were able to get them in a really compromising position, kind of catch them with their pants down up there on the wall. And then as they kind of reacted, we just knocked them out. So that was kind of more of a tactic, more so than a strategy.
Okay.
But if we hadn't been in that position, if we hadn't been able to, look at that, that was definitely something that we were keeping in the back of our mind, as a possibility, even though it wasn't outright part of the plan. And great discipline on Tart and Wicked's part by not stepping on the Sigma point. That was really important to make sure we could get behind them and just eat them alive. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it worked out really well. It looked like they had brought more over. I think they had 3 high traders to your 2,
Mhm.
because of what you did. So, and theoretically, they should have been able to outtrade. They should have been able to win that trade, all things being even. Um, However, because your Black Knights, got there and just shredded them, it didn't matter because all of a sudden you had 2 mechs on the field on their traders. So it was great. It's interesting to watch as people kind of adjust and they build a plan and then they also, on the fly, make quick decisions and go from there. Take the opportunities given them.
Yeah, and I don't want to underestimate the plan that was given. If you notice, we really have a lot of faith. Player has a lot of faith in who we have on the team. When we kind of assembled this roster, we knew that we have a lot of guys. We have a lot of monsters on this team. And so if you notice in that game, even though it was 4-2, Sean and Player both traded for over 700 damage. So they were definitely getting their licks in. And they were taking it on the chin too. But again, really great props to our light pilots. Amity, I wanna give a shout out to Amity specifically because he's a great role player for us. He really has been doing everything right, and whenever we're in a situation where we need somebody to run caps, he's not a selfish player, and he's willing to kind of do the dirty work for us. But Amity Todd's a great light pilot, can run with pretty much anybody. His fire starter, he was killing it tonight, especially with that Arctic Cheetah as well. I had several 400 or 500 damage games in light mechs. That was very key for us. But him, Woodrick with that near clutch at the end, and just like we can talk about them in the other games. But again, all our pilots are great, and they did a great job keeping off their harassers from our assault so that they could do the much needed work of trading them down so that when we did roll up on them, that rifleman was one shot CT. The Direwolf was like 2 bursts for the CT. He was already almost completely cored out. And wounding down their other lighter mechs. So everyone did a great job. They all played their parts to perfection. And it's just execution. We got an opportunity to do something where, I mean, if we had been able to execute the original plan and trade out to their assaults and hit them from multiple angles, then I think we would have been able to have a lot of success with that too. But we just took an opportunity, saw it, and ran in and cut them up. So.
Yeah, it's amazing. That's an amazing, it's an amazing show. It was a fun, lots of matches. You guys certainly made it interesting by pushing every time.
Well, I mean, obviously, here's something I do need to say before we kind of break in. If you want to break any more games down or anything else to be said, that we are primarily a faction play unit, and our faction play strategies mostly revolve around brawling. So we want to play to our strengths, and a lot of our strength is brawling. So we're gonna, you obviously dropped with us a couple times. We're obviously gonna go in for the kill. We're not looking to do some snipey tradey a lot. Now we did in HPG, but the reason for that is because we want a tendency break. We want to make sure that we have people who can run those mechs, and we don't want to be so predictable that they're, if we were all running push brawl, we would have probably lost, and we don't want to do that. So
yeah, no, I mean,
yeah.
It's it's evolutionary, right? Right now you're a Div E team at the bottom right of the seeds, but that's that doesn't mean anything. It just means that you as a team have to explore, put different things together, try out different things, and just grow. Both as a team leader, as a comp decision maker, and as a player, and so. I mean that's just all part of the process, and it can be pretty exciting to come together and come up with plans and grow together. And
yeah, it's definitely.
Yeah, no, I was just saying, it might seem like you brawl every time, and I mean we called that out, like here comes the Fjordlings again, Fjordlanders, but at the same time, that's just you got to start somewhere, and it's not a bad place to start.
Yeah, I mean I think that everyone did a great job. Again, like as the leader of FJRD, when people approached me to do comp, I knew I didn't have a lot of time, but I also had full faith in Player Unknown's ability to put together a great game plan. So think of more of me as like the general manager and Player Unknown as our head coach, point guard, first baseman, whatever you have there. But he's doing an absolutely outstanding job coming up with these plans. He's putting in hours every week to make sure that he's putting our team in the best position to win. And I really appreciate the grind that he's been on, and then on an absolute mission to make sure that we have a lot of success. So a lot of it does come down to the pilots individually, and I have something to say about all of the pilots for every game. but we don't need to get into that specifically right now. I want to make sure that Black Tack has his chance to talk as well, because I want to take a moment to congratulate you, Black Tack. You put together some really great game plans. Really appreciate the fight y'all put us through. And yeah, so we don't want to. I don't want to discount any of y'all's efforts. Y'all did great. And
You're being too modest, mate. You guys played amazing.
we did well, but just because we did well, you made us have to play well. We couldn't play stupid. We couldn't, you definitely punished us when we had a little bit of a snafu on the positional side, and you guys were able to win that game. So, you definitely put together a great game plan, and we couldn't play just super loose. We had to make sure that we were make sure we were in good positions to be able to win.
Yeah,
so.
For sure. No, you guys, those rushes, man, those blitzkriegs they're dangerous. You got some really good pinpoint accuracy on your guys for sure, and being able to concentrate firepower like that. I mean, I went down in like multiple games in like a matter of seconds. Right, we're just gone. Right.
Yeah.
Well played.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, well played by you guys as well. That Frozen City game was pretty crazy, so
yeah,
really appreciate y'all's fight there. We were hoping that Woodrick would pull it out at the end, but again, a great player for us. He's been doing everything right, and so.
No, both player. I've seen a player do well this game. I've seen all of you guys do well, honestly. It was just that there was a stalker left alive that was a bit too fresh for the open-legged
Stormcrow.
On that one. That's just how that goes. On Emerald, we got kind of. It was a bit of a rough one because our Piranha was down there and he's getting assaulted, and we had decided to drop, but then we couldn't coordinate quite well enough, and we got left behind, some of them, and we lost some guys. So, it's just the way it goes. Your coordination was just better than ours today, and I'm looking forward to the rematch for sure.
Yeah, we're definitely looking forward to. I mean, I'll be looking forward to play you guys again as well. I mean, I think it's gonna be really, really a fun match after we both have a little bit of experience playing against each other, kind of know what we can do, and so we can get game plans together to kind of counter those specifically. So it'll be great.
Quick question, Black Tack. So I noticed that the Fjordlanders have fought CDU last week as well. So do you want to comment maybe on the difference between the two different CDU units?
Well,
I mean, teams.
Sure, I'll comment a little bit on it. CDU America is our open team, right? So a lot of people are very new to just the game in general as well, right? So they might even be coming in like 20 mechs, because they don't really have a lot of variety. But it's open. They're just here to get some comp experience, learn how to build mechs and how to enjoy themselves in comp and get that just regular experience on it. Bandits is a little bit more closed off. We do tryouts. We play with them, like people want to play in, and want to see how good they are, if they've got the mechs for it and stuff like that. We're not going to really accept a guy who has 20 odd mechs, just because you need to have variety. Because that way, when we come up with a plan, we can be like, okay, well, I want this mech for this strat, and we can make it work, right? That's really the main difference.
All right. Well, I'm just curious.
That's really what it is. We just have more variety than they do.
I just heard from Quantum Raw that you guys are the biggest unit in the game. Is that true?
That's what Crypto kept saying, I think.
So yeah, I mean, I guess a big unit like that's going to have potentially more than one team, which gives more people opportunities to play, which is great.
Yep. I even believe that one of our leaders, Crypto, is actually going to be working on a third team for next comp. So
that's awesome. Yeah, that's great.
Yep. Exactly.
Would you want to maybe comment on the one you won on a Frozen City night, like what your thinking was, where you set up?
Well, originally the plan was going to be that we were expecting a tunnel push. So we basically were going to set up a front line there. And then I realized, they're going a lot more on the brawl side. So originally we were going to bring a medium range. But then we decided, we're going to go for the shorter range stuff. And then it just devolved into a situation where I think everybody got a little confused with the houses sticking around, and we had a stalker that was left untouched, and I died in a second in the blood ass. So it just became it devolved into a chaotic situation, right? That we just managed to come out on top of. I think breaking up the concentration of fire that FJRD was bringing in would win us the game, and it did. It was just that simple, really.
Yeah, well, it had to feel good.
It did. We got a second wind out of that, honestly, for sure.
Yeah, I think that the execution on that by their part was great. I know that we kind of got in and the buildings kind of broke apart, splintered our push, and that kind of caused a lot of confusion, so we couldn't focus fire as well. I think that in retrospect, if we had gone the tunnel, which was part of what was definitely in the works for our original plan. That we probably would have had a little more success, because even though one or two guys might have gotten beat up pretty bad coming in, at least we would have been able to have a concentrated push. But again, great execution on y'all's part, and y'all did fantastic in that match, and all the others as well.
What I wanted to comment as well is that FJRD actually you guys did a really good job at split pushing stuff. We saw that at Emerald and we saw that on HPG, where you guys actually went up around and left some of your guys down there, and then also sent a lot of your group up, right? Where we were expecting you guys to just murder ball their entire way through.
Well, we realized continue. Sorry.
And then on HPG, we realized like, hey, look, those Black Knights, man, they're probably gonna come for us at one point. But we lost track of you, and we probably should have dropped the UAV to see our backlands were clear, but we didn't. And yeah, you guys punished for it, man. Like coming up on our rear, it hurt.
Well played. me and Dane were definitely talking about that. It was the original plan there was kind of to skirmish with y'all through the basement. But when I realized that we couldn't see you, my thought process went to, that means they can't see us. So let's get around behind him, and let's just start knocking him down. So it worked pretty well. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm guessing you guys went around like the long way then.
We basically just pushed straight through, and then kind of snuck in through that left gate, and then just snuck in around right behind where y'all's rifleman was posted up. Just counted down 1, 2, 3, and deleted him instantly. So I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. He was already core, but I don't know what mech that was. Who that was?
It was Rifleman 2C with the classic build on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was well played. We really caught off guard by that for sure, and that's something we might actually look into for next time. Look forward to it.
Yeah, it's definitely it was really a strong tactic for us, and worked out really well. But yeah, again, y'all had us really in a really good spot there. It was not that game was really in doubt for us for quite a while until the Black Knights managed to sneak through.
Yeah, for sure.
But as far as the Emerald Vale one, kind of to talk about a little bit about that, our light pilots and our medium pilots did a very, very good job there. Especially our light pilots, Amity and Todd, because once we saw that you guys, really what the thought process came down to is you guys had counted so much time off the clock, where it was like 37 seconds. That meant to us you had only one mech in the circle. So we can just leave 2 lights behind to harass him, which will make you guys have to dive down. And then we'll just get all the heavy mechs and assaults and try to brawl you guys from behind, kill whoever's straggling, and then drop down on the ones behind. So it just kind of worked out, unfolded in the way we predicted, and that was just how it
definitely predicted. We were predicting you guys to go up the side of the mountain as well, because we went with the idea that you guys might go ranged on that, right? And then we'll go up and counter that range on that mountain, because that's normally the side of your side of the map's hill, right? Then seeing that you guys were not actually going in the lance for that, we decided they probably are going to notice that we're not going that way, and they might actually take our brawl at the top of the mountain. So we were just like, screw it, we'll take the brawl up there. But then you guys made a great prediction, seeing that we only have 1 light in there, and you guys, forced us off that mountain almost immediately. And some of our guys got left behind, and we got torn apart for it. So well played. It was really well played.
Yeah, and again, y'all's plan obviously was it was pretty solid. It was just a matter of the fact that we were able to kind of predict what it was.
Yeah.
It was just a prediction. Sometimes you just get rock paper scissors like that, and we definitely
that's just how the match just turns out. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about any of the other games, Dane? Any of the first 2? That River City, that first River City game, and the Hybrid and Rift game.
I mean, it is. We are getting a little bit long, but I think if either of you maybe just have one moment of the game that you felt like excited about or wanted to talk about, maybe I mean, for me, I think ultimately it was you know what, actually, let's talk about Emerald Vale. How about that? Do you guys feel okay about talking about Emerald Vale? That was very interesting. From my viewpoint, it looked like CDU set up on the ridge looking down with a piranha to stay on the domination cap, and then to cover that piranha, so forcing anyone that wanted to fight the piranha into the kill zone of the rest of CDU's team. Was that what you were going for?
Yeah, basically.
And then the Fjordlanders. I mean, you had a push deck, and you ended up just pushing right into them. There's a lot there, because there's a lot of risk in what CDU did, because if that piranha goes down, if you guys quickly are able to swoop that kill, then that really leaves them out of their ability to control the center is gone. But then at the same time with the Fjordlanders, I mean, having to make that push all the way up and across and then up again, like that's very dangerous push. So I felt like both of you guys actually took kind of gutsy positions in that match.
Yeah, we.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
from CDU side of it, we originally were actually going to go even more ranged for that match, but after the experience with the last couple games, we were like, nah, we're gonna have to bring more of a brawl group because with the range, especially after River City, we saw that like we have more range, sure, but that's not gonna help much if they manage to push into us, right? So in that case, we only brought the night gear like on Emerald, but we still couldn't quite outbrawl them because we got a little separated and we lost I think 3. We lost our Kodiak, I believe, and we lost 2 other mechs before like the brawl even happened at the low ground when they dropped down as well. So yeah.
Yeah, we caught the Orion and the Centurion and just blew them apart because they pushed into us, and it was just
Yep.
6-on-2. And then the Kodiak wasn't being a Kodiak was not fast enough to escape. So, I mean, that's just how. And then by the time the fight was there, it was already snowballing because that Piranha was pretty much out of the fight. Which again, I want to take a little bit of time to just highlight another one of my players, Todd, Terror of Death. He really in that game he really shone because he was able to not only lock down that Piranha and really put him on the ropes, but also then get in and mix it up with a lot of the other team. He managed to post a lot of really high damage games. I think that might have been one of the games where he did 400 damage in like an Arctic Cheetah or something or a Firestarter, which is that's a pretty decent score, especially for a comp play when it's 8-on-8. So he definitely had some really really good games. All our players played really well, but that game I definitely wanted to highlight him in that.
Well, as the Piranha pilot in that game, he was on my ass for sure. I didn't actually take out the Stalker though.
Yeah, that was again
It was
Sean.
too late, right? So
yeah, which we were a little bit surprised actually in the Frozen City game to see you running the same Stalker that Sean likes to use and that we like to use with the MRMs and the small lasers. It's a really good build. So
it is. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we saw it in ISC, right? They were real nasty in ISC. They would bring like 2 of them and just start MRMing everything to death. So
just that volume with all the MRMs and all the small lasers. If anything gets into that cone, it's just dead.
It's just dead, yeah, for sure.
I realize we probably are running short, but I do need to take a little bit of time to take a brief second just to plug. We are again a faction play first unit. This is our first dip into comp. But if anyone who's watching this is interested in getting into faction play at all, we accept people to drop with us of any skill level. So if you are brand new to the game, cadets, just saw there was an MWO stream and decided to watch, if you've been playing this game for 8 years, 10 years, and want to see something new instead of just a quick play grind, we accept players of all skill levels. And obviously for comp in the future, that'll be available to y'all as well. But yeah, so we're recruiting right now. We're looking for people to drop with. Again, if you just want to be, casual, if you want to do, actually want to get into, faction play and do all that, then look me up. Send me a friend request in game. Iron Wolf Pack 64 is my gamer tag, and then we'll get you in the Discord. We'll get you set up and ready to go. So again, just need to take a little second to plug because we're doing a lot of really cool things right now in faction play as well as comp, and we're really excited with how things are going. And I know that's a scene that some people are a little bit tentative to get into because you get stomped if you go in by yourself, but you don't have to do that if you're dropping with a 12-man. So. Anybody who's interested in that, just let me know, and we'll get you in there.
Well, since
I won't do anything. We're dragging it out too much, anyways.
No, it's okay.
I mean, well, do you have? I mean, you just did that whole plug. Do you have anything at all, Black Tack, you want to say?
Sure. I mean, CDU is the largest unit from what I hear from crypto all the time. So with 275 active members,
man,
it's a lot of new people in there. It's a great place to learn how to build mechs and just have fun.
You guys should.
Sure.
Sounds like you guys should all play faction play.
Yeah, CDU doesn't really do faction play all that much. We mostly just do quick play and comp. But we're actually looking into starting faction up. So maybe we'll talk to you guys in FJRD to help us out with drop decks and stuff.
We'd love to do that. We'd love to help y'all out with anything y'all need. And y'all are definitely organized enough to be able to have some success in faction play.
Yeah, for sure. We just haven't appreciate it.
Yeah, so y'all are doing great. So again, just want to shout out all my players. I think Tart was instrumental in this game tonight. Didn't really get a chance to talk about him, but me and him were going shoulder to shoulder in a lot of mechs, double Catapult, double Orion, double Black Knight, and so I wanted to just take one more second to shout him out. I think that he did an absolutely fantastic job, and Wicked as well for the quick sub in after we had Masagus needed to dip out for a family emergency. So again, just wanted to make sure all my players are getting the love they need, and yeah, really, really proud of them tonight. Really, really tough opponent, and so really glad they have the win. So
I can tell you already, my guys are chopping at the bit for a rematch for sure, and you'll get it.
sure, yeah, looking forward to it. Looking forward to the rematch.
All right,
All
well,
right,
great.
I'll leave you guys to it.
As the sales said earlier, I mean, that was actually great matches. You know, they say Division E, but I mean, really, like you can see, you know, competent players doing interesting things, you know, anywhere. And so, I mean, it was really exciting. I think a lot of people enjoyed watching it. I, you know, as I probably mentioned before, I haven't casted in about 3 years and never in this league, so I was really rusty today. So, you know, I apologize for any mistakes I made along the way, but you know, both teams, you know, looked really good. So, you know, focus on that. But yeah, thanks everybody, and thanks to your teams, you know, for making this possible. And good luck next week on your future matches.
Appreciate the cast, Gerald.
Appreciate the cast, and thank you so much, Dane. Just as a friend of the unit, really a cool thing for you to do to cast our game. So I'm sure you did a great job. Looking forward to watching it.
I will stop the stream now.
Okay.